Hi, I'm Dr. Renee Tucker. I'm going to share with you today the top 4 most common reasons for horses to buck. Now, I do want to commend you though for first trying to find out why your horse is bucking rather than just assuming it's some kind of evil plot, because it's really not. Bucking is almost always a shout from the horse that something is wrong. So, without any further ado, the top 4 reasons for horses bucking are, in no particular order, they are saddle not fitting, ulcers, ovary issues, and skeletal alignment issues. So those are the top 4. The next video is about ulcers, and the third video in this series is about the ovary and skeletal issues. Now, it seems kind of complicated and actually can be. So I did create a cheat sheet for you guys, and it is listed in the description below if you want to download that. Then you don't have to like take notes and like be all weird and anything. So anyways, the rest of this video is going to be talking about, does your horse's saddle cause the problem for the bucking, or is it totally not the saddle? This may seem obvious to some of you, but it's actually not super obvious. There are some tricky parts to that. And this video is also assuming that you've already eliminated fear bucking or play bucking. Now, if you're not 100% sure, and sometimes that can be hard, I do recommend that you have someone objective take a look at your horse and see if there's any fear bucking going on. And I recommend that because sometimes our own horses can be the hardest horses to really evaluate. Okay, let's talk about figuring out whether or not your saddle fit is what's causing your horse to buck. Now, this may seem kind of obvious, try it with and without the saddle, but it's not quite that simple. It's a little bit tricky, and I want to share the process with you that I take my clients through. The first 2 steps are pretty straightforward. 1, you want to lunge your horse with no saddle, no bridle, no rider, no nothing. Just totally plain. Just lunge in all gaits in all directions. And of course you can free lunge and you can do round penning for this as well. Now, if your horse bucks with no saddle on, the saddle's not the problem. You can go ahead and move on. Next, the second thing you would try, if you were, say adventurous, try riding your horse without a saddle. That's right, totally bareback. You could use a bareback pad if you wanted to, but totally bareback would be better. And yeah, personally, I would not ride a horse that's bucking bareback, but you can hire those really adventurous young people. They bounce well, and so you could have them do it. And then if your horse bucks bareback, obviously there's no saddle there, so therefore it's not the saddle. If your horse does not buck bareback, then yes, it is a saddle problem. So really trying to do it bareback is very helpful. You may or may not want to do that. Now, the third thing that you can try is lunging your horse with the saddle and the pad cinched up normally, and no rider, no bridle, okay? Just the saddle and the pad. If you lunge your horse both directions, all gaits, and you still have bucking, then it is most likely the saddle. Now, if you tried that, here's where it gets a little murky, because if you try it just the saddle and you don't have bucking, it could still be the saddle, because it could be either the weight of the rider presses on a sore spot on that saddle, or the weight of the rider actually can aggravate a spinal issue. So things get a little confusing in there, and I explain that a little bit more on our spinal alignment video. So I hope that was more helpful than confusing, but do take the time to rule out that saddle, and then you can move on to the next issues or try a bunch of different saddles and see if that will help your horse too. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget the cheat sheet in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.